Fox Football runs it way back. Kendall Gammon mines the wealth of knowledge of former players. Brought to you by Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group. Let them design the financial plan that is right for you. MidAmericanWealthAdvisory.com.
Fox Football on 101 The Fox. Matt Sparks, Kendall Gammon on here, joined by Jordan Devey, former offensive lineman for the Chiefs, a fellow NFL veteran. Kendall.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a chance just recently to do a podcast with Jordan Devey. It'll be on KC Sports Network, so if you get a chance to go listen to that, you'll want to. Some great stuff. It was 45 minutes, so we can't cover that all right now. But Jordan, number one, appreciate you joining us. Just talk about, first and foremost, last week, the Chiefs, what you saw. I guess specifically, we have two new tackles on the right and left side. Did you pay any particular attention to that?
Yeah, no. First off, appreciate you guys having me on. I love our offensive line. I love where we're at. The people I spoke with throughout the week, everyone's a little frustrated that we lost the first game, but, great teams and like the Chiefs, it's not really how you start the year, it's how you finish. And so I like where we're at. I like where we're going. Obviously, the score didn't go in our favor, but I love the new guys that we have. Yeah,
it's interesting. I felt like they protected Mahomes as well as possible. I thought there's times where he stayed in the pocket more than he used to, and then when he scrambled, he continued to look downfield. He hurt him with his legs a little bit, but I think everything generally starts and ends with the offensive line. I mean, it's the big guys up front, and really what the Chiefs have right now assembled. I mean, of course, we know last week didn't go the way they wanted. They would like to put some more points on the board, and there were some things that were out of the control of those linemen, but in general, I mean, it's always job one to keep the QB clean, but you played on a Super Bowl team. You've been around Tom Brady and all that. I mean, when you have somebody like that who's iconic, who's considered the best, it's always important, but does it put extra pressure? Does it make you more motivated? What's the thought process?
I think the motivation, every offensive lineman, we're all kind of built with that protective gene. And so, you could put anybody back there and we're still going to try to do our best to protect them. But when you have those, like you said, the iconic, the generational type players, when you get a chance to play for them, there's definitely a little bit more pride that takes effect, where you're like, listen, I'm going to do whatever it takes to not let my guy hit this guy or even get close to him. And it's the NFL. Everyone's great, especially last week. That Detroit defensive line was absolutely insane, and our offensive line did all they could to protect him. Hutchinson is just an impressive player on the defensive line, but yeah, they're out there battling and they're trying to do everything they can. But when you have a guy like Mahomes, it just adds a little bit extra level of intensity for it.
Okay, Sparks, I'm going to tell you something that Jordan and I talked about on the podcast, which was he was playing a game. It was back when he was, I don't know if you were guard, tackle, or center that day, but you've played them all, which is a skill in and of itself. But he tore his pectoral muscle during a game and continued to play the rest of the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's things like that I think are amazing. And if you want to hear more about that, go to the podcast. But, that's what I think offensive linemen are about, is just like when they have that. Again, though, this being a big thing, which is, Jordan, you talked about that, but it's when you have that ultimate respect for who you're protecting. I'm not going to say you wouldn't have tried to do it with somebody who is a jerk, but certainly you can tell the guys who really get things going. And Patrick Mahomes is just one of those guys, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Everything he does on and off the field is just top tier. And as an offensive lineman, when you have a quarterback that's just a great guy all around, takes care of his linemen, goes above and beyond, like it's those type of quarterbacks where you're like, listen, like if I get hurt, like I'm still going to give everything I got, because I owe it to him because of how great of a person he is and how great of a quarterback he is.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So, okay, the one thing you guys do as offensive linemen is you deal with the defensive line all the time. Talk to me about the fact of Chris Jones coming back today. The fresh legs, but not having the football experience this year yet because he's only going to have 3 days practice. Just your thoughts as maybe an offensive lineman in terms of how you approach that. And then also, what type of play you think we might see out of Chris Jones today?
I tell you what, I'm so excited to see him play today. He is such a force to be reckoned with, and you love having him on your team. You hate to be the guy that has to play against him. I know he's been out, and I think there's a lot of doubt on like what type of shape he is. But I mean, the guy's a pro. He's been in the league for a long time. It's not like he's just been home sitting on his couch. He's been working out. He's been grinding. I'm just excited to see what he does because he just brings such an impact to the game, and I'm excited to see how many times he gets the quarterback today.
Jordan, I gotta go back to playing for guys you respect and protecting them and everything. And this is something I heard. What was it? I think it was a couple years ago. It was Carson Wentz. I think he bought his offensive lineman a bunch of shotguns, and I was like, "Well, that's a weird present." Have you ever gotten a present from a quarterback that was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't expect this"? Because I know, like, I mean, obviously, you're protecting them; they got to respect you. Have you ever gotten a present, and what was the weirdest one?
We always were appreciative, no matter what it was, and it's kind of just like an unwritten rule, like. Every December, the quarterback gets the offensive line a gift. And so, like, Mahomes got us all, I think my last year, I think there were shoes, like Louis Vuitton shoes. And it was cool because he went out and kind of picked different shoes to match everyone's different styles, you know? And so that was unexpected, but, like, just the thought that was behind it. When I was with the 49ers, Gabbert was the backup. And it was Kaepernick's one of his last years. And we didn't expect anything that year. I go into each December not expecting anything. And then if we get something, it's a bonus. And Gabbert actually got the offensive line a gift that year. And I remember showing up and being like, wait, who's this from? And it was Gabbert that took care of us. And so to have him on the roster too, it's like, that's just another quality person. And he's a great quarterback to have in the room.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. I had no idea, and that speaks to a lot of different things. I can remember one year, and I was an offensive lineman. I'd moved to tight end, and let's be honest, I was a long snapper, and I was a backup to Tony Gonzalez, but the only thing we had in common is we were carbon-based forms of life. After that, the DNA diverged greatly. It is what it is. You know, you call him the way you see him. Kind of like Chris Jones when they said, are you going to be in shape for the game today? He's like, I don't know. We will see. I don't know. Yeah. But I remember, I'm not sure who it was, but one Christmas walked in and all the offensive linemen had those massage chairs. That cost about $3,000 a piece. And it was kind of funny. It took up a lot of room because you had like 10 massage chairs sitting in front of everybody's locker. And I'm just like, that's just a pretty cool deal for sure. So, hey, you know what, Jordan, we appreciate you coming on today. Before we let you go, first and foremost, what's your thoughts on the game today and how do you see it playing out?
I don't see it any other way than us coming home with a win. I think last week was just the first game jitters getting out of the way. We've got Chris Jones back. Guys have had a week to practice. I'm excited to see if Kelsey comes back because of what he brings to the offense. I think we come home with a win today. I think I know that Florida, you don't ever want to play there in early on in the year, but our guys are used to it, and I feel confident what we're going to do today.
I feel confident as well. We appreciate you coming on. And folks, as you are heading to the game today, if you have a chance, I would encourage you to stop by one of three places called the Cookie Company. These are places that you own, Jordan. You make the best cookies. I think one's in Blue Hawk, one's out at 87th and 435, and I forget where the other one is at. But folks, if you're looking for a treat, these are great, and it's just a great time. Hey, Jordan, appreciate you coming on today.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.